India is a country particularly blessed with a very old tradition of highly refined and sophisticated classical arts. Perhaps foremost among these is the Kirana style of North Indian classical raga singing, a style that has been handed down directly from guru to disciple for at least 700 years and whose last living master is Pandit Pran Nath.
Every old culture has its own way of looking at the universe and how it relates to mankind. And at the heart of this view of the world is the way it expresses itself in the arts. And still going deeper, I think it is music which sums up the whole soul of a culture. And Indian music is one of the most precious gifts that India has given to the world. And in my lifetime, I never really believed that it would be known in a deep sense outside India. The person who has made this possible is Pandit Pran Nath.
After beginning his formal training in the Kirana style as a youth, he soon discovered nature as a source of inspiration. He was especially attracted to the singing of birds. In later years, he would spend long hours from dawn to dusk at the shore of the Yamuna River in Delhi, listening to the birds and practicing.
According to season, they change their tone. These things helped me a lot. And other birds, this is a nightingale. This is crow. He's changing his tone. Other is. So this is natural things, natural place. Lord's house, nobody's house. Practicing open places. Walls have a stuck feeling. Open place have a how much can fly ideas.
When I met Guruji, of course, the first thing in hearing him sing, you can't help but be very deeply moved and feel like you've come in contact with a very old soul, something that's very ancient and what people associate with the ancient wisdom of India, the Vedas, the Puranas, these texts. And course, that attracted me on an abstract level, and even though I was considered an accomplished musician in Western classical music, I had not really the ability, the hearing ability to grasp at that time what he was really doing, except that I was moved by the sound. I didn't know what it was within the sound that was actually moving me till after I'd studied with him for a while. And even now, I mean, I've been with Guruji for 15 years, and I still feel like it's trying to, when he sings and we try to copy what he does, it's like trying to copy smoke. It's no shape and it's every shape.
Pandit Pran Nath was born in 1918 in Lahore, now Pakistan. His parents were wealthy landowners who, although highly cultured, disapproved of a musical career for their son. At the age of 13, determined to become a musician, he was forced to leave home with nothing more than the coat on his back. For some time, he wandered about, hearing performances of the leading musicians of that period, eventually attaching himself as a student to Abdul Wahid Khan, the acknowledged master of Kirana singing at the time. For almost 20 years, Pran Nath attended his teacher like a household servant, waiting for the rare moments when he would be asked to bring his tambura and have a lesson.
Music is an instrument of worship. Music is part and parcel of the makeup of a human being, and its transmission becomes a sacred and important act in one's life. Now, quite understandably, the world over, I mean, it's not India alone. When Johann Sebastian Bach improvised on the organ in the little church in Leipzig, he was not really thinking of his salary at the end of the month, though everybody needs something to live on, but it's a kind of fulfillment, a creativity at the highest human level. And similarly, in India, only this process lasted until quite recently. That's a musician or a dancer, Bala Saraswati, for instance, was one of the few dancers who didn't dance for a check. Now, this kind of fulfillment is much more important than a profession, earning a living, to many people. And I would say there is an element of that quality in the life and work of Pran Nath.
Raga is a living souls. Raga mean living souls. Raga have a, from morning to next morning, raga cycle. And raga always in between the notes. Notes help to make the raga because like you are breathing, the body is a note, you suppose, and breath is a raga, moving. Every breath has a different feeling. So this is the meaning of raga.
At the urging of his teacher, Abdul Wahid Khan, Pran Nath auditioned to sing over All India Radio in Delhi, and at the age of 18 was accepted. He became a regular performer there for over 30 years. he was able to earn enough money in one day's work to support himself for 6 months. It was through these radio broadcasts and his position on the faculty of Delhi University that he gained enormous stature and influence throughout India as a singer in the Kirana style. In 1947, on a trip to the holy city of Hardwar in North India, he met the late Swami Narayan Giri, who became his spiritual teacher. He persuaded Pran Nath to separate himself from the urban turmoil of Delhi and take refuge in the nearby Tapakeshwar caves, where he spent the next 5 years.
ये कैसे है? आपको कमजोर हो गया है? हैं? चलिए ऊपर। देखिए। इधर आइए, इधर नहीं आपका यहाँ ओम नमो शरीर बहुत कमजोर हो गया।
ऐसा ही है, सब दिन हो उतना एक समान। ये टेरी रायली हैं, बड़े भारी संगीतकार हैं। ये शब्द खान हैं। श्री कृष्णा जी हैं, कृष्णा भट्ट। बड़े अच्छे सितार बजाते हैं, गाते हैं। ये सब लोग, कृष्णा जी भी अमेरिका में रहते हैं। हाँ। Without spiritual help, music don't give effect. Music will be music, but some special effect making. Spiritual help need to the musician. Saints always, आप बताएं, स्वामी को भगवान कृष्ण ने कहा कि वो श्लोक इनको बोल के बताइए कि मैं योगी के हृदय में नहीं हूँ, भक्तों के जो गायन करते हैं वहाँ हूँ मैं।
भगवान श्री कृष्ण ये नहीं देखते कि तुम्हारे धर्म कर्म के नहीं देखते, वो देखते वास्तव प्रेम और भक्ति।
So Swamiji would stay.
This place.
Where did you practice here too?
Practice other side sometime, outer side. You saw that place, and sometime in the stream, and there is a vine big. Cross the stream. This is a Tamura, no Tamura was here. Tamura is the sound of this creek. बस संत लोगों की कृपा है।
Abdul Wahid Khan Sahib, Chishti Sabri, who was his musical guru, came here one time and said, you can't be sitting here like this, you have to go out into the world. You're going to carry this music even across the ocean. And told him that he would travel and be the main person to represent his music. So he told him to get married and to go into the world. So this, an order from your guru here is an order. I mean, you can't break it, or you would lose all the powers that have been, and all the initiations and empowerments that you'd been given. So Guruji immediately obeyed the order and got married and tried to become a householder and still be a musician. But he's always lived as a sadhu. Like he lived here in Tapkeshwar. He's always, since I've known him, lived out of a suitcase. He's never had a place to hang his hat that's permanent. He lives in one, and everybody, the whole world is his. Everyone, all his students, all of us are his, equally his. And that's what a sadhu is. That means that everyone and no one is your very own.
By the late 1960s, many people in the West had begun to look to the ancient Eastern cultures for sources of both spiritual and aesthetic inspiration. The avant-garde American composers Terry Riley and Lamont Young had long been attracted to the sound of Indian classical music. In 1967, Young and his wife, the artist Marian Zazeela, heard a tape of the singing of Pandit Pran Nath and were deeply moved. In 1970, they arranged for him to make his first trip to the West to perform his music.
We didn't particularly intend to become his disciples. We just were interested in bringing him here to share this experience with people. But we found ourselves attracted to him like iron filings to a magnet, so that it became essentially a force that was much more powerful than any of us or him, in that we found ourselves drawn together, and he insisted that we become his disciples in order to study.
When you study with him, when you are a disciple and you experience this tremendous bond, this shared feeling of being part of this great tradition, he opens up to you, and he's like a channel to his tradition going back so many thousands of years.
One of the reasons that Indian classical music is such a strong, powerful tradition today is that it has been handed down from guru to disciple for perhaps thousands of years. Every aspect of the music is taught on a personal level. The feeling of the particular raga, the subtleties of how to move from one note to another in the melody of the raga. Each of the elements are given directly as part of the oral tradition. It's totally different from what we have in the West, where you have a page of music with little black spots on it that are expected to convey all of these same elements.
This is a great raga, but take time to understand. Sa re re sa re ga re re sa. Listen each other and sing.
I think Pran Nath's impact, the fact that he hasn't been well known has almost allowed him to have a broader impact, because I think that Ravi Shankar and Ali Akbar Khan, to a certain extent, by becoming so involved in America and in American music and in the whole sort of American commercial process, they really almost became a part of our music, and we know what to expect from them, and we know what they can do very, very well, and we know what we're going to hear pretty much. But with Pran Nath, it's possible to hear all sorts of different things, because Pran Nath is really concerned with preserving a very, very old tradition, and he's very, very concerned with the whole idea of musical purity and of the purity of being exactly in tune.
सूरदास की लज्जा राखो लज्जा राखो अब को राधे 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 श्रीवर प्यारी विश्वा हो विश्वान दुलार शरण तक आयो तुम्हारी अब के Gamapada pamagare gamapada ni dani dare dani 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 da pada gamapa gamamagare sare dani da ab ki tek hama lajra kho Zazeela Zazeela देख द्रौपद के होने न देने हो गए चित चित दो बुझ सके शासन पजहारे अब गेट गहमान जैसी लाज जैसी लाज राखी द्रौपद के होने न दे